Now, in his first interview, Mr. Walker gives his side of events and the true nature of his friendship with Elliot Johnson. The Andre Walker that the public has seen so far in relation to this story, is that an Andre Walker you recognise?
Well, no, it isn't. I mean, if I take you back to the day that the covert recording took place, Elliot asked me to come with him to meet with Mark Clark, which was a meeting that he'd wanted, to discuss the problems that they had. I met Elliot beforehand, and we went to the pub together and met Mark. Now, what you hear is me getting frustrated partway through and getting a bit argumentative. What you don't hear, what wasn't released to most of the media, was at the end, Elliot invited me back to his place because I'd missed the last train and us leaving the pub together.
If you look at that secret recording, it sounds like you are some kind of hatchet man for Mark Clark.
Well, I think that everybody who's fat and from the north of England who's involved in politics gets accused of being a bruiser or whatever. And it's something I never took particularly seriously, a bit of banter down the pub. No, I don't recognise the criticism. And I think that, look, the media has phoned almost everybody I've ever met in politics. And who are these people that, you know, I bullied or threatened or harangued? Nobody's come forward. In fact, there's plenty of evidence that I didn't do any of those things.
What was the nature of the relationship between you and Elliot Johnson?
So, Mark Clark introduced me to Elliot because we both had an interest in political journalism. We hit it off straight away, and the relationship started pretty soon after that, and it lasted until the day he died, as far as I was concerned. And the reason that I have been coy about that is that I know that saying that will upset the family. I'm very sorry about that. It's not my intention to go out and upset and offend people. We've got to discuss this issue. We've got to discuss the issue of homophobia, and we've got to discuss why people, even as close to him as me, weren't told about the mental health problems.
This is a reference to a British Transport Police report prepared ahead of this week's inquest, seen by Mr. Walker. The Daily Mail has reported that it suggests the death of Elliot has highlighted a number of potential administrative failures and potential criminal matters taking place at Conservative road trip events. But also that Elliot Johnson had made previous suicide attempts following mental health issues relating to his being accepted as gay. Speaking to the BBC in response to the Mail story, Elliot's father, Ray, denies this is relevant.
No, it's not relevant. Elliot took his life because he was being bullied and picked on generally by certain persons and let down by other organisations around the Conservative Party. He was treated badly. That's why Elliot took his life. He was treated appallingly by people and organisations, and we want to make sure that Elliot receives justice for what happened to him.
Many of Andre Walker's old friends have blamed him and shunned him. He says that's prevented him from being able to grieve.
I wasn't able to go to the funeral service because of the things that were said about me, and that was very hurtful because I would have liked to have been there. Similarly, I don't know where Elliot's final resting place is. I would like to visit it. Whether that's going to be possible, I don't know. The only one memorial service I was able to go to, somebody screamed at me and I was effectively thrown out, which you know, just has made it impossible for me to pay my respects in the way that I feel I ought to.
How would you describe Elliot as a person?
He was great fun. We used to go out, have a real laugh, and I think that you know, this sort of sad life that people have characterised him as having in London, where it was all very depressing and where he didn't have many friends and where people were just bullying him on a day-to-day basis, to my mind is really not him at all. And I think it's sad that so far that's his epitaph.